Hi, Fee, and hi, everyone, and welcome to the reading, the Other World podcast reading for the week, beginning today, the 15th of March. I'm going to start off this week, and Fee and I were talking before we started recording, and I said, I don't know how I'm going to do the reading this week because I feel like I don't have words. And as I look at what's going on astrologically, it's perfect because Mercury is moving into Pisces, and that's that place of communication. Mercury is communication and has just moved into the sign of water from the sign of air. So it's like talking from under the water and being a little bit muted. So excuse me if I stumble over words and if I don't quite find the right ones today, but I will try. So it's another big Pisces week, but actually this week is all about endings and beginnings. And as I come into this week, it's like the ending. It's like we're coming up to the new year, as we will leave Pisces and go into Aries on the 20th. So towards the end of this week. So this week is it's like the ending of a quest before you begin your new one, and on the beginning of the astrological year. So I think that there might be a lot of questions that are coming up this week, and big questions. I'm getting questions around love, questions about birth, questions about death, questions about why, just massive, big, why am I here kind of questions could be coming up. And I've also felt into a lot of the need to want answers and to not be able to find them, and to go outside of yourself to try and find them. And there's a big word around discernment this week. And maybe if you can find a place of sitting in the discomfort of not having those questions answered just yet. But if you do find yourself just like wanting to get, I don't know, maybe a reading done or getting someone's opinion on something, and you're just going out and trying to find the one that feels right for you, just be really discerning over who you're trying to go to for those answers, and know that ultimately the questions will be answered by you. So trusting that you will find the answers inside when they're ready to be answered, and being okay to sit in that place of, I have lots of questions and no answers at the moment. Mm-hmm. This week, we're going to move from water into fire, and there's going to be a big change there. Like Aries is that initiation, the starting things, the fire. But that said, there's still going to be a lot happening in Pisces astrologically. So that kind of go energy of Aries is still going to be in a kind of dreamy space, or a place of that go energy is going to need a real feeling of meaning behind it. So you won't go unless you have the right meaning and you know why you're doing things. So that big question is possibly around a why, what feels right for me, what's the next move forward. And when we move into Aries, you may not find the go until you find the reason. So just being aware of that, sitting in a place of not knowing, but also knowing that maybe the year might start off a little bit slower around the go until you find that meaning, and that will be found inside. So perhaps stop looking for a million readings to tell you which direction to go in.
Love that.
And here I am giving you a reading. I picked a card this week, and it is the Stone from the Archetypes, the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, my favorite deck. I'm kind of using these all the time at the moment. What I love about this card is it feels like this grounding and anchoring. It's this help to keep us in this airy fairy, well, when I say airy fairy, in this mystical realm of Pisces. It gives us something to hold on to. It keeps us being present, because with the mystical realms, it's easy for us to get lost in up here in this dreamy world. This is pulling us into some kind of presence, being here, being grounded. So anything you can do that's going to ground you this week will be really good. You know, whether that is just getting your feet out onto the earth, taking your shoes off, doing a lot of walking, just anything that makes you feel present and grounded will really help anchor the energies that there is happening, and there's a lot of them. We have a lot. This is me not being able to find my words. There's a lot of feminine archetypes still in Pisces. There's some really beautiful. We have Hecate. She's the goddess of witches, or crossroads. So there is that also that decision, that place of not quite knowing. Pallas Athena, she's the warrior. Isis, the priestess, and Parvati. And Parvati is the goddess of a sacred marriage. So again, there's that love, Venus and Parvati, both in Pisces. It's that look at that higher level of love, whether that's self, or my feeling is this week it's shifted to external love in some way. I think that there might be a place of, is there a relationship ending, or is there a relationship beginning? Maybe big questions around, am I in the right relationship, or am I getting from this relationship exactly what I wanted to be getting? And the uncomfortableness of maybe not, and what happens then, and what needs to end in order for that to begin. And that may not be a relationship, but there may be some things in a relationship that need to end in order for it to begin in the way that you want that love to be in your life. That feels like me, Fee.
Wow. I just love, because we don't actually ever talk about what each of us is going to say on these podcasts. So I'm always listening quite intently when you're speaking, so that I can take it all in and absorb it, and don't have to listen to it again later on. But what always amazes me and kind of blows me away is how aligned the two ways that we bring this information in. There's so much in what you said there that I think I'm going to talk to from my perspective. So I love these different layers of understanding that we can bring into these current energies. It's really fun to do, and it's actually nice to have that broader perspective and deeper understanding around all of these supporting energies that we're working with at the moment. So I'm going to dive into the numerology around this week, this coming week, the 15th to the 21st of March. And this is actually the 11th week of the year that we're in. So it's a double one week. And the archetype of 11 is all about illumination, inspiration, insights. It's a very spiritual number. So working with your kind of spiritual attributes, your feeling senses. It also represents connection. And this can be within yourself as well as with other people as well. So it's that deep connection that we hold with both of those aspects. So you may feel guided, I think, over the coming week to observe where you are at on your own evolutionary journey. You know, and I think this is something that you were talking to there, is that sort of diving in with some inquiry around, you know, where am I at the moment? There was something that came up in the Akashic Records this morning when I was doing the daily forecast around just taking a moment to acknowledge where you're at on your journey at the moment, because we're going through a shift in paradigm. This is massive. And sometimes we forget to look at just how far we've come. You know, taking a moment to just sit back and honor that for yourself is a really good thing, I think, to do this week. And this week also has a lot of two energy in it because of the double one. So we're already, of course, working with a lot of two energy because of the year that we're in. It's 2021, so it's a double two. And the double two energy of the decade that we're in as well. So this week, you'll be noticing the themes of both the one and the two archetypes showing up. And interestingly, one represents the masculine energy, the doing and striving energy, and two represents the feminine energy, the attracting in, the magnetism. And this sort of shift that we're going through at the moment around moving much more into balance between these two energies within ourselves. So this is going to bring up themes around that. Where are you sitting in your own masculine and feminine energy? What is driving you? Do you need to embody more of one of these energies in order to align to the energies of this week? Are we pushing ourselves when we should be sitting back, you know? So one also represents the individual, you as a person, and two represents you in relationship with others, that connection piece. So this week, you may find that you're reflecting on your experience through your relationship with other people. So you might get a lot of things being reflected back to you when you're interacting with other people. And this happens quite often, of course, but this is a week when you might notice that much more consciously. So this two energy that we're sitting in this week is all about relationship, empathy, partnership, teamwork, feeling and being. And it's a very gentle energy that encourages you to slow down and to be. And I think this really aligns to what you were saying earlier on as well. So if you try to push for things to happen, then you may find that you're forced to slow down in some way. So try to work with that energy rather than pushing against it. Try to sit in that energy of allowing and observing. You know, you're being asked to slow down so that you can pay attention to what is rising within, to see where you need to focus, to make the changes that you want in your life at the moment. So this may be particularly related to your relationships. Do you need to spend more time strengthening those connections? Do you need to disconnect from some of those connections? Or do you need to reconnect someone that you haven't actually seen for a very long time? So these things, I think, will be playing out quite heavily this week as well. And you'll certainly notice them rising in some way. So that's the numerology. Then when I went into the akasha for the energy of this week, I was shown to really use the energies of this week to look at your level of self-love. What are you being shown now that needs addressing? Are you paying attention to this? Are you suppressing this, or are you running away and hiding from what is rising? And we do all of those things quite easily. What is ready to be released that will help move you forwards at this time? So there's a lot of there was a lot of information in the akashic this week, really around self-love and how we can adopt a deeper layer of self-love at this time, using these energies that are supporting us. And often when we're looking at self-love and how we see ourselves, there's often things like guilt or shame sitting beneath the surface that still hasn't been attended to, or needs to be dived into a little bit more deeply to release completely. So see what's coming up for you around those things that you might not even feel that there's anything like that in your life at the moment, but there is this undercurrent. It almost feels like we're letting go of a lot of this energy in the collective at the moment. So when I'm going into the Akashic records at this time for these sessions, what I'm actually doing is asking to tap into the collective of the consciousness. And that's what I'm being shown. The collective consciousness is holding that energy at the moment. And so that's why it's coming up so much for people at this time. But you have to be willing to go there. You need to go in and take a look and open up to what's rising and allow it to surface. So Pay also, I was shown particular attention to your physical body and what's happening at that level. So if you're not feeling well, or you're experiencing physical pain in some way, or what this means is your body is directing you towards something that needs addressing. It's showing you this is surfacing because you need to heal something within you. So pay attention to any physical things that are coming up over the next week as well. And all of this is related to creating a deeper state of self-love and self-acceptance, which appears to be a strong theme through the Akasha this week. And then I pulled my card. I just had one this week, like you as well. So that was nice. And I got this card. And if you can see that, the Sea Star card. So this felt kind of really aligned with the message that I was getting from the Akashic Records, actually. It seemed to support that message. Creating a deeper sense of self-love brings joy and allows your creativity to expand. So they're all the messages I feel that were coming through in this card itself. So this is a great opportunity to use those energies this week for self-healing and nurturing your heart so that you can fully integrate the beautiful energies that are supporting you now. And this, of course, comes from the Shamanic Tarot by Sue Kovacs. And I know that you're drawing your cards from the same deck each week, and so am I. I mean, I always feel though that these cards beautifully support each of what we work with. So it's kind of nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels. I was thinking earlier before we were speaking that with a tarot deck, it's like this quest that plays out through the deck from the beginning to the end. It's a journey that happens through almost a lifetime, and it feels like we're ending one and beginning another. That was it was actually the deck that I was visualizing when I was thinking of those two quests.
Yeah, so, beautiful.
Okay, well, thanks for that, Fee, and that's another week.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be an interesting week. I think there's going to be a lot coming up emotionally for people. It might be feeling more emotional than normal, which I think, I mean, I know I'm definitely feeling that myself at the moment too. And it's really important to just give yourself the space for those emotions to surface. Don't suppress them, work with them, allow them to show you or direct you where you need to go, because they're pointing to something really important. And if you suppress them, you take yourself out of that journey, you stop that journey happening.
I love that.
Yeah, so be prepared for tears.
And laughter. Be able to find the right words. That's
yes.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, we'll see you all in a week. And if you do have any questions that you'd like us to answer, or anything else you'd like us to talk about, please just put them either on our YouTube channel or on the podcast messaging as well.
Yeah, beautiful. I'd love to hear anything that you've got to share about this energy as well.
Beautiful.